Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Scream Along the podcast. Today we're talking with Franco Caramelino. You might know him as Marker Ghost online. But Franco, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. So this is actually the second time you're on the podcast. We spoke to you a little bit earlier on when we started the podcast, but a lot of things have happened from that time till now, which we're going to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
So we've been friends for a couple years now. Great. One of the great things that come out of the Scream community from being online. So it's amazing to see people really that kind of live their life, follow their passions, which you've been doing. So can you share to us, like, what are some of your passions beyond the Scream fandom? We know that you love horror, but like, let the listeners in a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have quite some stuff beyond Scream. Like, I'm a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
I also sing. I
Mm-hmm.
am venturing more into designing stuff right now, and as I've been doing some social media things aside from horror stuff. So it's like I think that getting into Scream kind of helped me, in a way to touch base on other parts of my creative world that I didn't think existed in a way. So yeah, it's just been like a bunch of different things. I would say from photography, then music. I've been a singer for a really long time. Like I think since I was like 10, honestly.
Oh,
And
wow.
music has been huge, has been a huge part of my life. But it's one of those things that you pick up and then you're like, no, it's fine. I don't, it's just like you don't want to do it full on. And after being at the Mucker House for so long, it's like it'd be really cool to do my first music video ever at the house. And so that's something that I just did recently too. I
Mm-hmm.
released my first song at the Scream House and the first music video ever at the Scream House, which was insane. Like it's as on a personal level, it just feels like wow, I am on cloud nine.
Yeah,
Cloud
that
nine,
must have
sorry.
been amazing to be able to bring both passions really that you have, kind of
Yes.
merge them together, right? So you did mention that earlier this month you released your very first song titled
Yeah.
Red.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it is on repeat. Every day I listen to it. At least
Oh
like
my
I'm
gosh.
telling, I'm not kidding. At least a couple of times a day I listen to it. It's got such a good
That's
vibe. It's
crazy.
so upbeat. It's so
Thank
catchy. I'm like humming it like around the day. Around the day, it's in my head.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and
Thank you.
you're welcome. You did mention about filming the music video. So we'll talk
Yeah.
a little bit about that. But what was the
Mhm.
experience like in actually creating the song, for like video aside, just creating it and kind of venturing into that world?
So just the song itself, it's um I had several ideas for Red, but once I so I tend to imagine the song first. And if so it's like sometimes the melody comes and then the next thing I'm just thinking about. So it's like I get a bunch of images in my mind
Okay.
before I get into the writing of it. So it's just like, ooh, this sounds like it could be a song about a heartbreak. And then for some reason I end up singing about something that happened to me. So it kind of feels like all of the experiences pile up in there in the back of my head. Then a melody comes, then all of these images, and then I end up singing about something like, oh, here's where I do my therapy. now,
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah.
processing that after a long time.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like that, but a lot had to do with thinking that I wanted to do the music video of the house. So
Mm,
I couldn't escape that idea in my mind.
hmm.
So as I'm writing the song, I'm thinking about this part could be in the porch, this part could be in the kitchen, and then someone could come running from this part, and then this person's gonna get killed in this part. Let's not show the killer and all of those things. And then I think that's why sometimes when I listen to the song, I'm like, it sounds very like cinematic, like it's made
Yeah.
for to go with the video. Like
Yes.
just the song by myself, I think. Thank you for listening to it, but I think it goes
Yeah.
really well with the videos. It's like two in one.
Agreed.
So it was it was a cinematic experience in a way. Just writing
Yeah.
it for this. You know what I mean?
So during that writing experience, you visualize, I
Hmm.
guess, really, and then you kind of start piecing together, knowing kind of where then how you want it to flow, but you're visualizing everything first in a way.
Yeah. That's how it went, at least for this song. And then I
Yes.
had another idea, like another music video that's coming out soon, hopefully very soon, and I'll share that with you some of the time.
Yeah.
But that's coming soon, and it's happening in a similar way. Because I'm just
Mm.
thinking, okay, it's a huge space. I can I hear certain sounds, like let's just make the song sound airy or spacey, and then so it needs more reverb or it needs what this, and it's the first time that I'm writing something or writing music while I'm thinking about
Yeah.
a video. It's always been that the melody comes first,
Okay.
and then the words come. And then that's the part like, oh, I'm singing about this experience that happened in the past. Like it's kind of like the order.
Mm.
I was never able to write anything that it's like, oh, I'm really sad I went through a breakup, or I'm really sad that this and this happened. My friend let me down. Let me just write about that and then sing. I was never that kind of person.
Mm.
It's more like I need that to sink in, and then it does come out somehow, sometime later, but it does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's awesome. And then, like you did mention, obviously you filmed Red at the Scream House.
Yes.
What was it like being able to connect your two passions in that way, and what did it mean to you? And then also, and watching the video, it's on YouTube, so I definitely plug your YouTube channel so people can go and watch it. But what was it like to actually film it? And then obviously you had friends that were involved in the video also. So what was that whole experience like for you?
It was fun. It was awesome, but it was also very stressful because it's like, okay, we're renting the house. It's 2 nights. Everyone knew that we were filming it, and everyone said, yeah, we want to be involved somehow. We want to be a part of it. So then it's just like, okay, this needs to work out. Like we don't have 10 days to test this
Right.
out. So one of the main things was like, how do we get the right lighting? How do I get this end, like the foyer, for instance, of the house? How do I get the lighting to look good for the video? Because when you turn all the lights on, it's like this like bright yellow, and it does not look good. And so it's like, okay, if we watch Scream 5 that they recreated the house, I'm like, I want that type of lighting that is like coming from above. It's not super bright. It's not yellow. It's kind of white, but it's warm. So that took a lot of hours to set that up because I don't know how. So it was more
Right.
like experiencing and trying to find out a way to make it look good. Because then we went and like, well, we're filming with a phone. I didn't want to. I was like,
Amazing.
let's just do it with a phone. I had some people in mind, and I was like, this is gonna cost me a lot of money. I cannot afford it. So I'm just like, let's. iPhones are great. There's been
Yeah.
tons of things that have been filmed with iPhones. I'm just like, if we have such like one of the best phones out there right now, it is possible to film a music video.
Absolutely.
So then it was like testing again lights and like lighting and all of that, and it's like it's looking grainy, doesn't look good. Let's just move this, let's move that, and maybe add this, remove that. So it was
There
a
was
lot.
there was
So
quite a bit of trial and error, I guess, during
yeah,
the film.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you become kind of like, okay, I'm the director, the producer, and so are my friends, and then you work in the lighting department, and it's just like it's all in 4 people.
Wow.
So that was a little much. But then I think being able to create content, and I've been doing that I think this for 3 years now, or maybe 2.5, kind of gave me an idea of try to compress the images. So like film, be like, okay, we don't need to film a whole scene just like, oh, this is all happening in here. Like we can do it in clips. So that kind of helped. It's like, okay, action, someone walked in, cut. So it was all in like little clips. If
Gotcha.
I hadn't been doing content creation, or if I hadn't been involved with it, I think it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would have been awful because I wouldn't know. So that definitely helped to know how to film it.
Yeah.
And then I had Thunderwolf involved. He's an amazing content creator, and he had amazing ideas too. So he brought his team, and so they all helped out. They all pitch in, and yeah, it was great. Like they were saying, okay, well, just move this lighting. Oh no, let me get on the floor and move the camera like this, because you see this kind of like a camera spinning, and that's all him like, filming, like doing this.
Oh.
Yeah, and then yeah, so it was pretty fun, but figuring things out, and also didn't want my friends to feel like, okay, we're only here for filming. It was like we're gonna do a little bit of this and you guys can have fun and be in the house to enjoy the house. So it was like
Yeah.
I had that pressure of like, let's get this done, and
Mm.
now let's get this little group, you guys can come back, let's get this other group, let's come back. And yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a
Well,
lot, but it was fun.
I will say it turned out really, really well. And
Thank
to your
you.
point, it is a cinematic piece. As I watched the video, I felt like I was in a movie,
Wow, thank you.
which I think is pretty much what you were going for. So
Yes.
kudos to you. That definitely came across.
Thank you.
And I just want to say I loved how definitely if you're a Scream fan and you're a fan of the franchise, you'll be able to connect certain pieces as you're watching the music video. It's almost, I wouldn't say, correct me if I'm wrong, I wouldn't say it's like a love letter to the franchise, but it's almost in a way kind of is, because it's kind of honoring the franchise, right?
It
In a
is
way.
a
Yeah.
million percent. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So when kind of like so the way that I thought about it would be it's just like let's just write the song and treat it like it's that last scene in the movie. So
Mm,
the scene at the house, it starts with people arriving to the party. So that's how the music video starts. Then the other scene, I think, is like people was Tatum and Sydney getting into the kitchen and bringing stuff in, and I was like,
yeah.
let's do something like that. So it was like a recreation of that without being Scream 100%, but while at the same time honoring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
No, it
was
turned out
100%
awesome.
that.
And
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is really cool. The voice changer during the music video, the way that was pulled off, and even just the sound of it going on and kicking
Yeah.
up, I was like, whoa, I'm like, this is awesome. And then
Yeah.
then when that part of the song came, even the way that the effect of the voice changer even sounded, it was really, really well done.
Nah,
Really well
thank you,
done.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so definitely like Scream fans, you'll love it because it's like a tip of the hat and like an honoring the franchise for sure.
Yeah.
But even alone, if you're not a fan of the franchise, just watching it alone, like I said, it's a cinematic piece. It's very much almost like you're watching a movie.
Thank you so
So
much. Yeah.
yeah, if you're a fan of horror, you'll love it. If not, I think you'll still love it. And then where can people check that out? I know you have your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Go ahead
yeah,
and plug
yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So I have my horror, I guess, YouTube channel, which is Mocker Ghost, and then I created a separate channel where I'm just gonna be uploading music, and that's my name and last name, Franco Caramelino, and that's just
Beautiful.
those two. Yeah. So I didn't
Okay.
want to mix those all the time, sometimes it just doesn't go together. So
Yeah, sometimes the audiences you have to keep it separate sometimes,
yeah.
right? That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, one thing I wanted to add was that so kind of like making sure that the video made sense because I'm like this
Mm-hmm.
needs to if somebody watches it yeah, somebody watches it and
Mm-hmm.
they don't that's my English is my second language coming.
No
uh
worries.
if someone sees it, okay, well it's just that too. I want the story to make sense. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so you get to the party, and then there's like this going on between these two guys. Clearly, that girl is my girlfriend, and then they're talking, and then there's like, oh, it's like she knows something, and then these people start to disappear, and I'm like, it does that communicate well that that there's a killer in the house or not?
Mm.
So when I go and rewatch the video, I'm like, yeah, we could have added this, we could have added that, and it's always gonna be like, yeah, it needs some, but I think people that watch is like, yeah, we kind of understood what it meant.
Yeah. I understood what it meant right away, and I feel like
Mhm.
it'd be easy for the audience to be able to connect those dots.
Mhm.
And I feel like hindsight's always 2020, right? And especially
Right.
if it's something that you created as a content creator, you're your own worst enemy, no matter who it is, right? Like you're gonna
Yes.
critique, you're gonna think, oh, I should have done this, or maybe I should have added this.
Yeah.
But to my point is it definitely made that connection. So I don't want you to feel like even like looking at it like, oh, you should have added, oh, I lost something because I didn't add that in. No,
Oh,
it's
thank you.
it's really
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thanks so much.
Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
and then so you have Red. So Red was your first single, right? Your first song.
There is another song that's called Faded.
Okay.
And I did that, I think it was back in 2018, and I put that
Mm,
out there, but it's always been like one of those songs. It's like it doesn't really represent what I want to do. So it just
mm,
feels like it's out there and it's fun and I like it, but that's why I said this is my first song. I was like, no, this is what if someone's like, oh, what type of music do you do? Like, go listen to Red. I wouldn't go to
Yeah.
Faded.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't want to forget to mention that the my friend produced the song Red. So I wrote it,
Oh,
I essentially made the song, but then it was produced and mastered by my friend Ludwig Mack. He goes by Ludwig
okay.
Mack on Instagram. He lives in London and he's getting into all the music stuff and he's great. He's great. So he did an amazing job.
Wow.
I'm really happy to work with him.
Amazing. Okay, definitely gotta check him out on Instagram. Thank you
Yeah.
for plugging that.
Yeah, I don't want to forget that. 'Cause
Yeah, no
he
worries.
he did such a tremendous job. So
So those that were part of it, you said you had 2 days of filming.
mhm.
So the joke for those that know the Scream movie, especially the first one, is that the end scene, the crew and all that, when they were filming in '96, they had T-shirts made, and the story goes is I survived.
Yeah,
Like I can't remember what it was. I survived scene and whatever
118.
118.
Yeah.
So you can say you survived Red, the filming of
Survived
Red.
Red scene, yeah. Before I had a heart attack, because it was a lot. That was so much. I guess it could be
Oh,
like, I
too good.
survived the filming of Red.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. And then so we can expect more songs in the future then, definitely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
100%. Yep.
Very
But
cool.
I'm taking my time. I think I
Hmm.
kind of wanted to come up with an EP soon, and then it's like, no, I want the songs to be meaningful. I wanted to connect with what I'm doing also
Yeah.
as a cosplayer, as a content creator, and I know somehow to tie it up. So I do have a
Mhm.
bunch that I wrote, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna wait until I have like the next 5 ones or the next 6 ones, and then I might just drop them. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, super.
Yeah.
Well, that's super important to make sure that you're doing something right, and that
Yeah.
it's something that you want to make sure once it's out there, you want to make sure it's something that you're aligned with. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And again, before we'll plug it in before the podcast ends, but again, where can people? What's the easiest way that they can follow you to find your music and find your content?
Yeah, so my Instagram is the Mocker Ghost. And then for music, it's on Spotify as Franco Caramelino. So
Hmm.
yeah.
And Apple
And then
Music.
and Apple Music. Oh yeah. I think
Yeah,
I always
it's on the
forget. Yeah.
platforms.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's on all of them because I
yeah,
select the option of like anything. So it
yeah,
should be Amazon, it should be I don't know,
yeah.
all the ones.
Search Red Franco Caramelino and it will come up. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, no worries. So as we record this episode of the podcast, we're about a week out from Halloween.
I know.
You had, which I'm super like, I think you and me are both like, once that time comes around where we're post Halloween, you get like the Halloween blues, right? Because we
Yeah.
love the season. I'm still in like spooky season mode, and we watch
Ugh,
horror movies any time of the year. But even more now that I know the Halloween's done, I kind of want to hold on to a little bit more. So I still watch a lot
yeah.
of the movies.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit out, but you guys took part in an amazing event over just before the Halloween weekend. It was the weekend before at the
Yeah.
Scream House. There was a party that happened.
Yep.
For those that may not know, please share what happened during this Halloween party to celebrate Halloween and like the Scream tour and the Scream House, and let us in on a little bit of what happened there.
Yeah. So I had the amazing chance to help out Dane Petroli. He organized this amazing event. It was called the Screamathon, in which we had Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, and then Alan Robinson. He was the stuntman for Matthew Lillard and the first Scream,
Oh,
and also
cool.
Ghostface and Scream 2. It was
Oh,
such an amazing event. I think it was huge. We had like about 70 people plus all of the
wow.
vendors. It was definitely I would say about 90 people in the property, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a 4 or 5 hour event, I believe.
Yeah.
There was the energy was awesome. Everyone was super excited to be there. It was like celebrating Halloween, celebrating Scream, being with other fans, a lot of content creators as well that came. It was such a blast, and that was Saturday the 26th.
Okay.
So it was definitely a Halloween party. It felt a lot
Yeah.
like that. There was pizza, there was a lot of pops, or
Awesome.
sodas, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I
That's
think
amazing. And you mentioned that there were vendors there also. What
yes.
kind of vendors were there? Like what people that attended, what were they able to kind of do there?
Yeah, so we had the Frightful.
Okay.
They sell essentially it's apparel. Like they have shirts, sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Then it was Grim Girl, on a similar level. They also do prints. I had my booth as well. So I had my
Hmm.
photography booth, and then in my booth we were selling the wine.
Hmm.
So Dane created the labels, and it's called Feel It Woozy.
Hmm.
It's kind of like like it's exclusive to the house.
Ah,
So
okay.
the owner owns a creamery, so and a vineyard. So it was in relation to that. Like when you go visit the
Ah,
house, that's the only way that you can buy the wine.
very cool.
Um, and then we had Killer Art, the Killer Art.
Hmm.
They do knives, and they had I think they also have some shirts, designs. It was all essentially in the horror world, obviously,
Yeah.
and Scream related. Who else? We have Rulo Pimienta.
Okay.
Rulo Pimienta. Yep. Um, he's a designer as well. He draws amazing stuff. I don't want to forget anybody, but I think
Yeah.
that's basically. Yeah, we have Raul, the Frightful, our booth, Killer Art, Grim Girl, and oh my gosh, and we have Sammy Ruiz. Sammy
Okay.
Ruiz, he's outstanding as well, and he also has shirts and prints, and I feel like they all have stickers and
Yeah.
other things. It's just like a whole lot of stuff
A
all
whole lot of
listening
stuff in
to.
their line of
Yeah,
merchandise,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that
I
you
don't
can
want
think
to
of.
I don't want to single anyone out because I'm sure being able to be there, they were probably in the horror community had some really great pieces. But
Yeah.
is it you said was it Frightful?
Yeah, Frightful.
Are they the
The
ones that
Frightful.
had the Woodsboro sweater?
Yes, it
I
is.
love that sweater. I
I
have to grab
know.
it. I
There's so
love it.
many people that walked in with that, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So they were really happy about that.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what I love? I love so obviously we know we have merch. We're wearing merch right now. I'm wearing my Small Town Weirdo Scream
Hmm.
Queen Sydney shirt. You've got your Ghostface shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, we got many
Just
different horror shirts and stuff. But I love the ones also that kind of do it's almost like you have to know in order to get the reference of the shirt. So if you don't
yeah.
know what Woodsboro is, you're not going
Yeah.
to know. But those that love the movie see it
Yeah.
and they'll know, right? So I kind of love both and which is really
No,
cool.
everything that they have is it's really good. And that sweatshirt, it's like it has like a little surface when you touch it on the top. So
Oh, so it's kind of like raised
yeah, it
a
is
little bit.
raised, and then it has a knife on this side. I thought I had it over here. It's a knife on the side, and then it has something else on the other side. So it's
Very
like
cool.
yeah, it's amazing. It's
That's
probably one of
awesome.
my favorite sweatshirts. I do love all the other stuff that they have there, but about that particular sweatshirt, I think
Yeah.
that's yeah, one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah,
I have
for
to give
sure.
that to the Frightful.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that there were the two very special guests for this pretty much Halloween party,
Uh-huh.
the tour, the party at the house.
Yeah.
Um, so we mentioned Leo Waddell and Alan.
Hmm.
You said was it Rickman? I'm sorry,
Robinson.
Robinson. I'm sorry, Alan Robinson. What was that like for people that attended? Like, what were they able to do if they went to the house? Like, were they able to, get any kind of photos or signatures or any kind of that stuff? Like, what was it like having them there?
I have to correct that. It's
Yeah,
Alan Rock Robinson.
Robinson,
Rock Robinson.
Rock Robinson. Okay,
Alan Rock
gotcha.
Robinson. Yeah.
Thank you for correcting.
No, because I was like, I guess I always just read it so fast. Alan Rock
Hmm.
Robinson. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I feel bad about that now.
No, don't
It's
feel bad about it.
yeah,
Don't worry, we corrected. Don't worry.
yeah.
So, what was it like to have them there? From a kind of like logistics standpoint, to having two people that were part of the movie franchise at the house, and then also what was it like for the guests that came? Like, what were they able to do with them?
Yeah, well, having Lee, it always feels pretty surreal because it's like that's the original Ghostface. That's the first person who ever played Ghostface, and
Yeah,
he's in the probably the most iconic scene in horror movie history. Like he's killing Casey Becker, he's killing Drew. So seeing him sometimes it's kind of like, damn, like you did this. You know what I mean? It's just that it kind
yeah.
of like escapes the mind.
Hmm.
And with Alan, when there's a video that we uploaded to the tours page, which is Spring Hill Estate Tours, and you see him walking in, and I feel like both of them to see their reaction to go back to film a location, it was priceless, because they're all
Mm,
like, wow, like we filmed one of the best movies out there right now. Like we were part of this. We were both here. And it's just, yeah, it was just so awesome to see that. So having them there, sometimes it's like it feels like it's easy to disconnect a little bit, and then
yeah, sure.
then it comes back, right, and it's like, holy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just not just anybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really thankful and super super grateful to have had that opportunity. And for
Yeah.
the fans, I think it's on a similar level too, because there's
Hmm.
people who have never had the chance to meet them, and this was like a combined opportunity. Come see the house and then meet your idols in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So guess we're
priceless.
able to get like if they had merch, they're able to get something signed or like photo ops or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I do
Yeah.
have this right here. This is the poster. Let me just find, and I have mine signed right here. I don't have the name of the
Oh, very
artist, but
cool.
yeah, this
That's an
is the
awesome
Screamathon
poster.
poster. Yeah, it's really really cool. And yeah, I have both of them that signed it right here. And Dane had these posters on the table, so as you're doing the line to get this signed, you just grab one and you just get it signed.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a really really nice experience. And he's been wanting to do this event, I think it was since 2022. And then
Wow.
we couldn't do it then, and last year was a different event. And even though it wasn't necessarily a screamathon in which you watch the movies, we did have a projector outside. So there were
Mm.
chairs, and then we were playing Scream 1 and 5, and then back to 1.
Oh wow.
So,
That must have been
it's,
really surreal watching the movie at the place where they actually filmed the movie. That's
yeah, because you
crazy.
had the projector in front of you, and then the house would be here. So you're watching the movie, and then all of the scenes are here, and then it's there, and then you can walk in. It's like, oh, I'm walking into a movie set, but this is a real live movie set. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
real life
Yeah.
set. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
So, like you mentioned, that was really kind of a way that, when people kind of see these kind of opportunities, it really is an experience. It's not
it
like you're just
is.
going for, for like an average tour. When you have these kind of parties or whatever it is, it
Yeah.
really is an experience. It's an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really an amazing opportunity for those that love the franchise. To your point, to be able to meet people that were part of the franchise that
Yeah.
they've watched over and over again at
Yeah.
the Scream House, at the location, which is wild.
Yeah.
And then also, like for people that want to learn more about the Spring Hill
Hmm.
Estate tours, learn more about the location, maybe what's coming down the pipeline, if there's another tour down the line, who knows? But
Hmm.
where can people learn more about Spring Hill Estates and the Scream House?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can check out Spring Hill Estate Tours. That will be the main one for tours. And then there's another page that I just opened, but that page is just more like an informational page. It's more like
Okay.
kind of to share the love for 261 Turner Lane. So we'll have photos, videos, anything that maybe someone's like, hey, I took this photo. Let's just share it. So it's a site for everybody. I will be sharing when Dane is doing the tours there too. So if
Very
there's some
cool.
sort of event, it'll be shared on both pages. So and that
Amazing.
one's called the Mocker House.
The
So
Mocker House.
and the
Perfect.
other one, Spring Hill Estate Tours. Yeah,
Amazing. And then from there, I'm sure in the profiles, there's links to,
yeah,
if needed, like websites or, ticket information. I know there's
yep,
stuff on Eventbrite too, if I'm not
that,
mistaken. So
yep, yep,
yeah, you
yep.
can get all the info there. That's awesome. That is
That's
really
all there
awesome.
too. I share a lot of stuff too on my page as well, like
Hmm.
on the Mocker Ghost, since essentially that page has turned into a cosplay page that's fully
Mm.
devoted to that too. So I've been
There you
doing
go.
that quite a bit, and it's like, oh, this is cool. I
Yeah.
wanted, when I started that page, I guess my main goal was to show more of the character at this
Hmm.
location, at this particular location, because there's tons of people like, hey, I want to see more of that. I wanted to do a photo in the kitchen. I want you to do a photo here. So I just started doing a bunch. And so,
Ah,
yeah,
well, that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
yeah,
That's
it's
really
pretty cool.
awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
So we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna, you've been on the podcast before, and I know we don't
Yeah.
like to end a podcast without a little bit of some fun scenario
Okay.
type of questions. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions,
Okay.
and see kind of just get your thoughts about certain things that are happening. Okay.
All right.
So first one, if you had to be stuck in the Scream movie franchise which character would you want to portray and why?
If I had to be stuck,
Mm.
so essentially, oh, I would want to be Chad because
Okay.
he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Clearly, he never dies. Like he gets stabbed.
I mean, this from 6, I was like, how is this dude alive after
I
that?
know. Or Mindy, for that matter.
Or Mindy, yeah.
You know, they're always like, oh, I'm all, but I'm here. I'm here. So I think I would want to be Chad for that particular reason. But besides that, I don't know. I think it was unless you're Ghostface. But every Ghostface dies.
Yeah.
So, maybe I don't know. That's a tough
It's tough,
question.
right? That's a tough one.
I think I'm gonna go with Chad.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's a good answer because I feel a lot of people would be like, "Oh, well, why wouldn't you be Sydney? Like, come on, like she survives." But I'm like, girl's been through trauma through all these movies.
That's the main thing. Like you don't sleep. Like your life is over. Yeah,
that's it. We just think one eye open, like never getting rest ever again.
For sure. Yeah, I don't want to be Sydney or someone related to her because a lot of those people die too. So
yeah, absolutely. Or you've got crazy nieces that want to kill you, right?
Yeah.
So we know Scream's your favorite movie franchise.
That's for sure.
But what other horror franchises are you a fan of? Are there any that come close?
That come close to that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I like Halloween a lot.
Yeah.
I like Halloween quite a bit. I think that would be my second one. I do like Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
I like Chucky, and I do like Nightmare on Elm Street. So Freddy, I think it would be. I used to love those movies growing up too. Like,
same.
I feel like it was so scary to watch Freddy Krueger be on the.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to go to bed now. So it's like I feel like all of those movies play with a part of a brain that it's so real. Like I don't know if that happens to you, but sometimes you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. I hope I wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's because it can happen. I mean, it might not happen on the level of like, someone is gonna come and kill me like Freddy Krueger. Like, that's not possible. But it does get into a psychological part of it that is just like, wow. I mean, there's, I'm very spiritual in that way. That it's like when you go to bed, your soul travels. And you go and all that stuff. So sometimes people are like, and you can get trapped in a weird reality, meaning that you don't come back the same way. So that watching Freddy Krueger sometimes is like, oh, there is some horror in that. What if there's something of some sort, you know? Yeah. So and then Halloween, I think, as it gets closer to reality too. I mean, it's just a guy with a white mask, stuck in babysitters.
Yeah, that's it.
Literally, or anybody,
or anyone that's in his way.
Anyone in his way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, same with me. Like Halloween's I would say my second favorite, just because growing up, we'd watch them, and I still remember growing up. AMC would have their what was it, Fear Fest, I think, where they would just marathon a bunch of movies like leading up to Halloween, and Halloween would always be playing. And funny that you mentioned that because for me, I just like the nostalgia of it because it brings me back to my younger days and stuff like that. So for me, I actually just recently watched. So I obviously remembered the first two. I remembered the third because that was the one that Michael Myers wasn't in, Season of the Witch. And then I remember 4 and 5 because that's when Jamie, like what was it, the niece or the daughter of Jamie? I
think so.
Right?
I think it was a niece,
So, but the only one I don't remember was, I was like, I think it ended at 5, and then 20 years later it was H2O. But I was like, wait a minute, no, there was another one. So Halloween 6 that I totally forgot about sees the niece older. She gives birth to Michael Myers' kid, and then he is trying to get the kid. But Paul Rudd is actually in that movie that I completely forgot about, and he played one of Jamie's like kids. I think it was like Timmy or something like that, Tommy or something like that, right? But sorry, going off on a tangent now, but I kind of got reintroduced into that because I was like, that was one of the films from the franchise I completely forgot about. Completely forgot about it.
Yeah, and I was gonna add, I like the Rob Zombie movies as well. I think, even though it's like a separate thing, I really do like that, and I like the Halloween, the 2018 one. 2018. it
Yeah.
just feels that he's powerful. I love the
Yeah.
cinematic parts of it, and the music, the sound. I love
Yeah.
everything about that movie. I think
Yeah.
it's probably one of my favorites, along with the first one.
Yeah.
And then they did the very similar thing that they did in Scream 5. They recreated the house and that whole
Mhm.
neighborhood. So that, I don't know if it's that part of it. It's just like, oh, I love this. It's so good. Like, it's so
Yeah.
appealing when you watch it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And then even
Hmm.
too with for me for Halloween Ends, I felt
Mm.
like the ending of that it kind of really mirrored Scream 3 with Sydney in a way where Laurie Strode, in a way got her piece at the end of
Uh,
it.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
The way that it was
Hmm.
shot. And I was like, wow, it was giving me like Scream 3 vibes of Sydney with the door and everything. And I was like, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
that very end, it's one on one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
thought
It
she
was
was,
awesome.
yeah, I like that. Can I go back to the house real quick? Something I wanted to
Yeah,
add.
absolutely.
I just remember that. So we were talking about, I can't remember what you said that made me think about it, and then it just went away. But that house has been there since 1990. It had two owners, and there are things that they want to change.
Okay.
And something that's kind of funny, the refrigerator that you see in the movie is still there, but it doesn't work. And there's been
Oh.
tons of talks about, yeah, we want to get rid of it. But the owner was like, what's the refrigerator from the movie?
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, and he's like,
Hard to
maybe I
part with it.
shouldn't. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't, but I really need an actual refrigerator. So that might not be there for too long.
Oh
I just wanted
no.
to, yeah, that just came to my mind. I was like, it made me feel so happy that he stopped and was like, well, there's a refrigerator from the movie, so I can't take it
Yeah.
away. I think it's like, well, I actually need a real refrigerator. I need something
Yeah.
here. Because right
If
now
you
they use the one that's by the garage. So they have
Gotcha.
three plays exactly the same way, the way you see in the movie, by accident. But they're placed in the same way.
Oh
So,
wow.
and that's the ones that they
Wild.
use. So yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to
Yeah,
add that.
let them know if you have any sway whatsoever, and if they upgrade or change that fridge, let them know you can't get rid of it though. Just still keep it.
I told him that. He was
Put it in the
laughing.
garage or something, but like keep it.
Do not get rid of it. Yeah.
Do not get rid of it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry,
I
sorry.
wanted to
You
ask
go
you.
ahead
No,
with
no,
the.
no. That's great. We love just kind of talking and seeing where it kind of flows. I did want to ask you something. Obviously, we have news about Scream 7 now. We know that Nev Campbell's part of it. We know we have an official release date for North American theaters of February 27th, 2026, which I cannot wait for. I think we have to find a way to get your music in the movie in some
Oh my
way,
gosh, I would
shape,
love
or
that.
form. Whether that's characters listening to it in the background or it's on, whatever it may be.
Dude, that would be a
We gotta
dream.
let's send that message out into the universe right now.
Let's
Let's get
Red out there.
Franco's music. Let's get Red in that movie somehow, shape, or form.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That would be it. Then I'd be like,
That would be
okay,
it, right?
yeah, I've done it. That's all I need.
Yeah, that'd be like a huge check, like a huge
Oh my
bucket list
gosh,
item,
I
right?
just cannot imagine what that would be like. To watch one of my favorite movies, or I guess franchise, and then be like, oh, yeah, that's my song in the back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How awesome would that be? So I'm just putting it out there in the universe. See what happens. We got to find a way to make it happen and get it. I'll tag a bunch of, I'll tag the studio and then when I put it on socials, whatever.
Play Rat.
But yeah, play it. But
And
it's
then
such an
music
awesome
video in the back.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Someone's streaming it or something like that.
Yeah, this weirdo's obsessed with the Mocker House. Yeah, he did a music video and all. Like, we have these weirdos going around. Hey, I'll be happy with that. I'll take that,
Yeah, putting it out there. That would be amazing to see.
There you go.
And then also mentioning Scream 7, kind of before we kind of wrap up the episode here, but obviously Scream 7, there's huge news around it. What are you looking forward to, or what are you hoping to see in Scream 7? And this can be anything from a character standpoint to a certain scene that you would love to see, or like a battle, or a setting, or where they're going to be. What's something that you're hoping to see in Scream 7?
I have several things in mind. Like,
Yeah, let's hear it.
I would like. I know people are gonna hate for this, but I would like Stu Mocker to come back in a way. I think
So
that
are
would be
you're on
cool.
board with Stu's alive?
If Chat lived,
Yeah, I
come
know.
on, why
Yeah.
can't Stu? So I'm gonna go to Scream 5 for a minute, but I was really on the edge of my seat at the very end of Scream 5, thinking, okay, there's gonna be a third killer. It's gonna be Stu Macher coming down the staircase, being like, "Yeah, I planned it all. It's all
Yeah.
me. I've been working in the shadows essentially and just planning it all." That's kind of what I wanted to see so bad, because in my mind I'm like, why would you come back to the Scream house? Why would you go back to the Macher house?
Right.
So I'm like, I guess someone is obsessed with it and they live there now. But I felt like I needed that to be like, yo, yeah, she's actually my, I don't know, my sister's daughter, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
something like that. And we've all been waiting for this moment. So if Scream 5 wouldn't have happened the way that it did, maybe right now I would say, okay, let's bring everybody back to the Monker house. So it wouldn't make sense for them to go back to the house. Like, why would go to the house again for the third time? So that's
Right.
something, it's completely out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want them to do a trilogy, as in like 5, 6, and
Oh,
7.
okay.
I
Hmm.
would not want that. Because then it just feels like it's all like split. But instead, I am hoping that what comes out, it's something fresh,
Hmm.
maybe like an in-between movie, and then you can do Scream 8 and that brings back to the characters,
Right.
or a movie that includes the characters from 5 and 6, but that doesn't end. That doesn't feel like Scream 3. So
Okay.
that leaves the door open.
Leaves door open. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't. I don't know why, but I wouldn't like to have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 in the middle, and then 5 and 6 and 7.
Right.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah. That's
like
what you're
that.
saying. Yeah.
No,
Hmm.
I would want it to be more of a continued or completely separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something brand new, something fresh. The good thing that worked with six, I guess, in doing a requel with five, I
Hmm.
guess in a way, they had to go back to Woodsboro. You're going to introduce new characters. You have to see how they connect. All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
With six, I think what made it super, super, successful was in a sense where it was set in New York, and that was never done in the Scream franchises
Right.
like before, right? It's been done in horror, but not in the Scream world.
Yeah.
And I think that alone, but then also knowing, okay, I know the characters are going to come on the ride. I'm attached to them now because of five,
Right.
but I want to see them in this new setting
Yeah.
within New York, and I think that's why it was super successful too, because it was a fresh take
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the franchise, also, right?
Hmm.
So to your point with seven, knowing that we're going to follow the Cindy Prescott storyline, like she's going to be the main focus again, it'd be
Hmm.
really cool to see kind of a fresh take of what they have on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what they do with that, right?
That too. And I hope it's actually scarier than the rest.
Mm,
Like I hope he gets a little to the dark point of it. That
okay.
too. Because I feel like if they do what they did with 3, that it's a fun movie and it's funny and comical,
Uh,
and then they go back to LA, it's kind of like I kind of wanted to go the other way. Let's make it
mhm.
darker. Let's not go back to LA. Let's go somewhere
No.
else,
Yeah.
and actually like really really scary. That's
Agreed.
something I want to see, and more aggressive.
Okay. And more
It goes,
aggressive, eh?
yeah, it goes with to be actually like more violent than how he's been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That'd be
I would
really
like
cool to
that.
see.
Yeah, because then it's just like to show more of like what Sydney goes through, but on the darker side.
Mm.
Not like not like The Conjuring, not to that level, but
Okay.
darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anything like that. But yeah, just darker as a whole, more like an intense movie, more actiony, or I don't know, something like that. I think would be
Very
cool.
cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Very cool. Love it.
yeah.
And then safe to say you'll probably be there opening weekend, no matter where it's playing. You're going to be watching it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. No, and
Cool.
it doesn't matter where I am either, so I think I'm there.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna be there no matter where
yeah.
you
You
are,
need to
right?
come. You need to come watch it here.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, you need to
That'd
come
be
to the
really
house
cool.
still.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
We have to
It's
figure
on my
that out.
it's mentioning bucket list. It is on my bucket list. Let me
Right.
tell you. No, but yeah, it's got to be done sooner rather than later,
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not
right?
gonna see the refrigerator. Yeah, I get to be like, oh, well, the microwave, we changed it. The
Damn it!
tiles, one broke. We don't have the tiles anymore. Now we have the white
No.
wall. Like, I mean, it is a house. Things break and things have to be moved out. So, but
Yeah.
no, that's at least not the tiles. I love the tiles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Want to
Well,
have
no,
a
that's
tattoo
what
of the tiles.
really makes it. Is that what you do? Is that what you have?
No, I want to. Right
Oh,
here.
the tiles
I
there.
was thinking what to put here, and I think
Yeah.
I love the design that they have. It's such a unique pattern, and so since
Hmm.
I might do that, I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, please let our listeners know again, where can they find everything Franco Caramelino, Mocker Ghost, or Scream House Tours?
Scream House Tours. Okay, so tours, I would say Spring Hill Estate Tours.
Yeah.
For a page that has information on the house and also on the tours, and more like a information type of page, I would say go follow the Mocker House. Then for my content is the Mocker Ghost, and I also share things about all of that too, and some of my music as well. But my music for YouTube is just under the Franco Caramelino YouTube channel, and then Mocker Ghost is for Ghostface stuff, and then on the rest of the platforms, Franco Caramelino for music, like Spotify and on Apple. So I think I kind of covered it.
You covered it all.
There you go.
Covered it all. Yeah. Amazing. So Franco, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of Scream Along the podcast. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
Love that we were able to have you on and talk about your music and obviously the house tours and the party at the Scream House. And to get your thoughts on kind of Scream 7 and what's going on there. Yeah. We'll love to have you back again for a third time, maybe once 7 before then, or when 7 is out, we can talk about the movie. Nice. And then even before then, and then who knows, maybe, one day when we're actually able to get to the house, we can maybe do something
there. Yeah. Or just an interview there. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
That'd be wild. That would be a great time.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries.
For having this space for people like me, and thank you for sharing your passion for Scream too. So
you're welcome, and thank you for joining us, everyone. That wraps up this episode of Scream Along the podcast. We'll see you on the next one.